everybody, welcome back to another Farm to School cooking video with me. I'm Rachel. This is my kitchen. Today we're going to be making a vegetable fried rice with a very special ingredient. I wonder if you know what this is. Probably haven't cooked with it before. I personally have never cooked with it, but I'm going to do it today for you. This is a bamboo shoot. And if you've been around Concrete Farm to School long, you know Mr. Brondi. And I don't know if you know this, but Mr. Brondi, his favorite thing to grow is bamboo. And so this is a bamboo shoot that he grew for us, and you are all gonna get a bamboo shoot or so in your recipe kit, and it might look more like this, because this is what's inside of this guy. So we're gonna prepare those for you so that you don't have to do this part, but I'm just gonna peel the outer leaves. And did you know that bamboo is really just a giant overgrown grass? And these shoots come up out of the ground, and they are as big around as the adult bamboo is going to be. So this bamboo shoot came up out of the ground this big around, and that's how big the final tall stick of bamboo would be. And it'll grow, you know, to be like 8 feet tall if you let it. But when they're young and tender, then we can eat them. So I'm just gonna keep peeling. So I'm gonna cut this in half lengthwise using the tunnel so you can see what's inside of it. You can see that it has all of these kind of nodes, is what we call them in bamboo. And in between each one, there's a little shelf. And in an adult bamboo, you know, it has, I don't know, sections, and each section has a solid piece in between it, and those are already in there in this baby bamboo. So let's see if we can, you can see they just get closer and closer together at the top of the bamboo shoot. So they're just very close together, and then they start to spread out. So in order to make these really delicious to eat, we're gonna boil them for a while, and then the ones that you're gonna get in your recipe kit, I think Mike is going to marinate a little bit in some sesame oil and some other things, and that'll make them extra tasty. And so you can try them right when you get them and see what you think. So I'm just gonna cut these into chunks. I have a couple of others, and throw them in some boiling water for a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna take these and put them in some water that I boil in, and now that I look at my water, I think they need to be just a little bit smaller. So here we go. We're gonna start by boiling those. And I'm gonna set a timer and boil those for about 3 minutes. Okay, so on to the fried rice. I'm gonna start by prepping some garlic and ginger, which we've used in a lot of our recipes, so I trust that you're all experts now. I'm gonna squish my garlic so that I can peel it easily. Okay, chopped up my garlic nice and fine for the most part. That one chunk that was stuck on the knife. And then I'm gonna grate my ginger, cut a fresh edge. Okay, scrape off the good stuff inside. I'm going to, and I'm gonna keep some of that too. I'm gonna combine my garlic and my ginger and set them aside until I'm ready to add them to my fried rice. And that was my timer for my bamboo. So we will see, that was kind of a gentle boil. I'm gonna give them 2 more minutes. Okay. So I'm setting aside my garlic and ginger, and I'm gonna prep a bunch of vegetables to go into our fried rice. You have gotten in your recipe kit some carrots and some cabbage. So with cabbage, and you've gotten a section of cabbage already, but if you were gonna start with a whole head of cabbage, you would find a flat side to set it down on so it doesn't rock around. Cut it in half using the tunnel, keeping your hands clear. Set aside and put it with flat side down. Cut it in half again, straight through the core, through the stem there. Set aside half again. And then to decore it, you can just hold it carefully like this with your fingers out of the way of the knife and cut slantwise through the core. And there, you can just pop it out. And then I have this, and I can put that flat side down. Usually you want to take off the outermost leaf. And then I can cut it into sections like this, straight down with the tunnel. And I like to cut mine kind of into 4 sections, and then I can group them back together like so and chop it into pieces. Remember to curl your fingers. And you could do this chunk by chunk too if you can't hold them all together at once. But that has made short work of our cabbage. And cabbage is one of those things where a little bit goes a long way because it really fluffs up when you start cutting it. So I'm going to put that in my bowl for later. We also have carrots, so I'm going to cut the ends off. Oh, there's the bamboo shoots. So this time I am going to turn them off. Just let them be there. Now, you can decide how you want to cut your carrots for your fried rice. I'm gonna cut mine in half and then use the tunnel to cut them in half again. So we're ready to start cooking. The first thing we are going to do is to cook our carrots because they're a hard vegetable and they'll take longer to cook than our cabbage. So I've heated some oil in my pan over here. And with fried rice, it's always good to go with a bigger pan than you think you'll need because this is the kind of dish that as you kind of add stuff into it, it tends to expand. And I always run out of space. So we're gonna let our carrots kind of cook in there and get going. And while they are cooking, I'm gonna cut up our bamboo. So here it is. I drained it. And I'm just gonna cut it into chunks similar to all of our other vegetables, like so. I guess I should probably taste this with you. You guys could try some of the stuff that Mike prepared for you. It's interesting. It does taste a little grassy. Yours probably tastes like sesame oil. Okay, so there's our bamboo. We'll check on our carrots. Sizzling away over here. Still a little crunchy. They are turning my oil pink. I started with, that's silly. They're turning my oil orange. I started with about a tablespoon of oil, and I might add a little bit more as I add more ingredients, but this is a very non-stick pan, so I don't need very much. Okay, I'm going to add to that the rest of my vegetables. I have our cabbage, and I added some bell pepper that I had in the fridge. One of the beautiful things about fried rice is that it's really an empty the fridge kind of meal. You can add whatever ends of vegetables you have from other recipes, mushrooms, zucchini, you know, you name it, you can throw it in here. If you have some leftover meat from last night's dinner, whether it's pork or chicken or beef, that's great to add in. I like to plan this in my weekly menu after I've done like a roast pork tenderloin or a roast chicken so that I can chop that up and throw it in. Yeah, so it's really, you can take it anywhere you want. So we're gonna let our let our veggies cook for a couple of minutes. And then we're going to add our garlic and ginger. And I like to wait to add the garlic and ginger until my veggies are just beginning to be tender, because it burns really easy, and if you add it first, sometimes it burns before everything else is done. So I like to wait for a few minutes. Well, our vegetables are tender, so I'm gonna add our garlic and ginger. Stir those up. We're also going to add a tablespoon of sesame oil at this point, and 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, which you have in a little container in your recipe kit. So here's my sesame oil. And soy sauce. Smells good. Okay, we're going to add our rice. Now, I made my rice ahead of time and let it cool because fried rice really works best with cold rice. So you might try that. I'm gonna add about 4 cups of rice. Oop, it just all came out as a cake. So I'm gonna break that up into my vegetables. If I did this again, I think I would fluff the rice in the rice cooker before putting it in the pan. Usually I'm using leftover rice when I make this dish. It's been a couple of minutes and our fried rice is almost ready. You can hear that delicious sizzle that it's making now. So I'm going to turn off the heat and bring it over. You could also add scrambled eggs or a fried egg on top of this. And you know, you can always add kale or other veggies in. There we go. And in true farm to school style, I'm gonna add a little sriracha on top. Okay, here we go. Let's get one of those bamboo shoots on my, get one of those on my fork. It's very good. Still chewing. Well, there you go. A farm to school classic vegetable fried rice with whatever you happen to have in your fridge. And some special bamboo shoots from Mr. Brondi at Blue Heron Farm. Hope you enjoy this vegetable fried rice as much as I did, and happy quarantine. I'll see you next week with a super special dessert.